So yeah, so this is going to become a lot more complicated, right? We can stick with the invalid, but we're going to actually play around with the states, right? So bad SID only matters if it's pristine, right? So we're going to get the form field. Don't forget the question mark. The question mark is to make sure that we're not going to null. We're asserting that it's not going to be null. So we're going to go pristine, okay? And the bad SID is only going to be a bad is only going to matter if the SID is valid, and we're only going to care about the invalid if yeah, I got it right. All right. We're only going to care about invalid if it's dirty. Okay? That's not true. I'm sorry. It's gonna be a little bit more complicated than that, but I'm gonna cheat a little bit. So I want to clean up the logic here, make it easier to see. Okay? Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Dirty or I actually want to do it if it's touched as well. Right? Now, because of this one, we want to make sure that we're going to just turn it red. And so this is just turning red. This isn't the error message. For error messages, we have to be a little bit more cautious. And why do we need to be more cautious? Pretty simple. Okay. And yes, it would. Did we have screwed this up? Yep, we screwed it up. So we just have to go back and fix it. Okay. Pristine, perfect, perfect. We just need an extra dink. Student form invalid and either dirty or touched. Perfect. All right. Sorry, I did miss a which call it. That does bother me, but whatever. These get a little hairy, but they're not impossible, right? You just need to make sure you're doing it slowly. Oops. Does it still have a problem? Yep. All right. So it still has a problem. So let's go fix it. All right. So how do I fix this? Easy. So what I'm doing, and if it isn't obvious, is I'm matching parentheses by doing this. Yes? Right? That closes. This guy closes this guy closes that, but I thought I wrote that extra one. And now we have, ta-da! All right, sorry, never seems to fail. But now the SID is going to be blank. As soon as I touch it, it's going to turn red. Yes? Now let's look at validation, right? I have six numbers, right? Shouldn't it turn red? Yes, right? Because it is invalid, right? So what's going on here? Did we screw something up? Or dirty or touched? It is both dirty and touched, and it is invalid. I haven't started to change the other things yet. Let's get rid of this. It'll provide mutual exclusion. This guy. Yeah, we have an extra bracket now. but that guy closes that guy, and we should be good. So now it's invalid. It's having a requirement problem. I'm gonna put in the number three. It definitely is min and max. Did I save that? I can't see it because it's covered up by the. All right. I'm gonna pause the recording. We'll come right back. Okay. I had the wrong. It should be dirty or touched, not untouched. I just had it backwards. Okay. Duh. And this is for the label, right? This is what turns it red. This does not indicate what the actual message is. We have to be even more careful when we're indicating the message. Why? Because you only want to show how many messages to the user. One, right? So what I'm actually going to do is, and I'm going to cheat, is I'm going to put this on its own page, right? You're like, wait, what? Watch. Okay. Put this on its own line. So bad SID and the form is pristine. We're going to do this. Okay. If it is invalid, no. So if it is dirty or touched, yeah, watch this, right? Dirty and touched. And, right, this is where we're going to get fancy, right? We can identify what error it is, right? And you're like, wait, what? Yes, I just need to double check the what you call it, has error. That's the one I want. Sorry. There's a couple ways to do it. I'm going to do the has error, not, yeah. And I'm going to go with brain farting. So max, and these other things. And I'm just going to put one right here, and that covers us. So if the error is max, we say less than, right? Now it's going to get easier because we got it working. So we're just going to come back and if it's min, right? Right. And I'm just going to go back and quickly look at my validators. Max, min, and the last one is pattern. I'm actually going to do required as well. I'll show you how to do that as well. Um, come on, brain fart. There we go. Nope. Yeah, here we are. Um, so we need two more. So the next one is required. And then the last one is pattern. 5 digits. Okay. And this one is SID is a required field. Okay. And now it'll identify what the problems are and appropriately, right? One thing you really want to be careful about here is you want to have these be mutually exclusive. Okay, so if it's required, we know we can't have a max or a min, but the pattern and the max and min can interact. Okay, so we'll talk more about that when we get there, but let's actually, oops, unexpected closing tag label. Yeah, something copied and pasted. Yeah, so you see, I copied it 6 times. We only need one at the end. Yes, we only need one at the end. There we go. Oops. Okay, so you can see SID. Now I touched it. SID is a required field. I'm going to put 5 digits and it's happy. I'm going to put zero point 0.2 and it says it has to be 5 digits. I'm going to put 898989 must be less than 9,000, right? What about red? Must be 5 digits. What about 3? Must be greater than 10,000. Now let's have some fun. It's a pattern fail. And now we have a pattern fail and a digit problem. Okay. So how do I fix that? Okay. Well, I can identify the pattern as being more important than the max or min, right? And so we can put this one, I'm going to show you. It can be a little silly looking, but we're going to put this one first. Okay. Okay. Now we have it twice. I'm aware. Okay. I am going to get rid of the second one. I just want to leave it there for a second. Okay. Now, what I want to do is put another set of parentheses around it. So what I want to do is if it's max and not student form dot get SID and max and dirty blah blah blah, it will work, right? And so I think I got it. Yes. Okay, so now let's look at max. 89, 89, 89.3, and we get the digits again. Okay. So wait, what? No, we didn't get the digits again. Watch this. We got it twice because of this. Remember, I left it there. Yeah, there we go. So let's look at it again. It's too big. 0.3. Now it goes back to pattern. Ta-da! So I just want to add that one little bit, the pattern bit, to my max and my min. And now I have that mutual exclusion that I expect. So if I have 36.3, must be 5 digits. Yay! And that is the functionality we require for SID. That whole thing through, no matter what kind of error from a validation point of view, it will not allow you to submit the form until we have all these things correct. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in some correct data here, right? Major needs to be there, right? We already did major. We don't have to do anything for GPA, but GPA is going to be a little bit different. What can we do? We don't want to use a regular expression because the pattern is going to be very, very complicated. We want to make sure it's a number, right? So we don't want to enter in red. We don't want E to exist in there. So how do we do that, right? There's a variety of things we could do. First and foremost, though, we're going to pop in and we're going to do some really simple ones, right? Because the simple ones usually lead to how we're going to do the complicated ones. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go max is 4, min, and it's 0. Okay. Now, how do I actually identify the number? Okay. This is where things get a little interesting. Okay. Now, the whole purpose of this is to allow me to put in um, a, uh, a custom validator, your own personal validator, right? But 2.36 should work. Um, Anything that's bigger, right, like 36 should cause there to be issues, and we can easily catch that. But E is a number, right? So what can we do, right? We could use a variety of things, but we don't want to use patterns, right? Because if we use patterns, things can get complicated pretty quickly. Yes? So I mean, we could, right? Like, um, so it's going to get ugly pretty quickly. But I'm just going to copy and paste it. Okay. Dot, right? You're like, wait a second. What does that look like? Oops, I forgot to put the pattern parentheses. Okay. All right. So the problem with using regular expressions is they're hard to get right. Okay. Not impossible, just hard. Okay. But let's look at this. Okay. So now we have a GPA. Let's look at the E. E is still valid, right? You're like, wait a second, what? Validator pattern. Oh, did I save it? Yeah, I saved it. Okay. So now it can only be digits followed by another digit and so forth, right? So 3.3 works, 3.33 doesn't work. What about 3.0? Why does E still work? Let's actually try this out and see what happens. Let's look at the console. Let's see what happens in the console. Yeah, but how does it get past the validator? Okay, so the validator using the pattern, this can be 0 through 9 repeating or 0 through 9 repeating, should not be allowed to get past the validator. Oh, I know what I need to do. Hold on. Let me go refresh the page. It's probably your problem. Now let's try E. Still happy. Yeah. And that's why we don't want to use patterns. Um, but we can use a custom validator. To do a custom validator, I really feel like that should work. Um, yeah, I'm kind of annoyed that that isn't working because that pattern should actually, let's get rid of that. Okay. Okay. Let's get rid of that. And now let's go back to our GPA and put an E in there, and it should still be remain unvalid, 3.8. It's got the point in there, so no good there. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 is the only thing it's going to accept. Great. But the whole point of this was do a custom validator. So let's do that. Um, and so forth. I'm gonna stop the recording because I don't know how long I've been going. Um,